I spent years being called the family failure while secretly paying their bills. Last Sunday I finally let them find out exactly who they were talking about. Growing up I was always the one who did not fit the mold. My older sister got straight A's, went to university, became the family trophy. I was average in school, did not go to uni, and from about the age of 16 I was quietly written off. Not in a dramatic way. Just in the way families do it, the subtle sighs, the comparisons, the jokes that were not really jokes. My dad used to introduce my sister to people at family gatherings and then gesture at me and say, "And this is Zara, still figuring things out." I was 19 when he first said that. He was still saying it when I was 23. My mum was not much better. She had this way of asking how I was doing that made it sound like she was already disappointed by whatever the answer was going to be. "So what are you actually doing with yourself, Zara?" Not even a question mark at the end. Just a statement dressed as a question. The thing is, I was doing something. I just was not telling anyone. When I was 21 I started making custom gifts. Personalized prints, framed quotes, that kind of thing. Started it in my bedroom with a second-hand printer I bought off Facebook Marketplace for £40. I did not tell my family because I knew exactly what they would say. I could already hear my dad laughing. So I kept it completely to myself. By the time I was 22 it was making more than my part-time job. So I quit the job. Did not tell them that either. As far as they knew I was still working at the supermarket. In reality I was running an online shop, fulfilling orders every night, building something from absolutely nothing with zero support and zero acknowledgement from the people who were supposed to be in my corner. By 23 I had hired 2 people to help me. I had a proper website. I was making more in a month than my dad had made in his last year of employment before he lost his job. My mum had been out of work for over a year by that point too. The bills were piling up. I knew it because I still lived at home and I could see the letters on the counter. So I started paying the rent. Anonymously at first, I told them I had picked up extra shifts. Then I just started paying it directly and said a family friend had offered to help temporarily. They accepted it without too many questions because they needed it. Every month for almost a year I covered their rent, the electricity, the council tax. Never once did they ask too many questions. Never once did it make them treat me any differently either. My aunt came over with her husband and their kids. Big family lunch. I was in the kitchen helping with food, which I always do, because nobody asks, I just do it, and I could hear the living room conversation. My dad was talking about me. Not knowing I could hear every word. He told my uncle that he worried about me. That I had no direction. That my sister had built a real life and he did not know what was going to become of me. My auntie said maybe I just needed to find the right job. My dad said, and I am quoting this exactly, "Zara has never finished anything she started. She means well but she is not going anywhere." I stood in that kitchen holding a wooden spoon and I made a decision. I walked into the living room. I sat down at the table. And I told them everything. I told them about the business. I told them the revenue. I told them I had 2 employees. I pulled up the website on my phone and put it on the table. I told them that the family friend paying their rent for the past 11 months was me. I told them the exact amount I had paid. I told them I had done all of it while being laughed at in this house, while being introduced as the one still figuring things out, while being talked about in my own home like I was something to be pitied. The room was completely silent. My dad looked at the phone. Then at me. Then at the phone again. My mum had tears in her eyes. My auntie looked like she wanted to disappear into the sofa. Nobody said a word for what felt like a very long time. Then I told them that as of this month I would no longer be covering the rent. Not because I cannot afford it. I can. But because I am done quietly holding people up who talk about me like I am nothing the moment I leave the room. I got up. Went to my room. Booked an apartment viewing for the following week. I am moving out next month. My dad knocked on my door that evening. He said he was proud of me. 5 years too late, but he said it. I said thank you and closed the door. My mum has texted me every day since. I have replied to 2 of them. My sister called and told me I was being too harsh and that family is family. My sister who has never once stood up for me in 5 years of watching this happen. Family is family. Sure. I do not need them to understand it. I built something real, in silence, with no support, while being underestimated by the exact people who should have believed in me first. And the moment I stopped being useful they will realize exactly what they had. I am not the family failure. I never was. I was just the only one building something while they were busy deciding I was not. Follow for more stories like this. And drop a comment, did she do the right thing cutting them off or should she have handled it differently?